welcome everyone to my new show, Can't Knock the Interview, which is a spinoff of my current podcast, which is called Can't Knock the Pod. Um, on this show, I'll be interviewing my peers who are movers and shakers in their respective fields. So I'm going to have athletes to actors to musicians. Just people that's doing their thing from the city and that's not from the city. I'm honored to have my first guest who is from the city, who I'll be introducing in a moment here. Before we get started, I do want to give a nod to our sponsors, the Youngstown Studio, which you can find them on Facebook and YouTube. Can't Knock the podcast, which you can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast, as well as YouTube and Famcoin, which you can go check that out with more information at www.famcoin.com. Without further ado, I would like to introduce my first guest, who is an Ohio native, a Rand graduate, one of the most humblest people I know. Um, I asked him to be my first guest on the show, and without hesitation, he said yes. And you've seen him on your TV, you've seen him in your grocery store, and now you're going to see him on Facebook Live. Introduced to Joshua
My
Triplett,
man
man.
said
How you
grocery
doing?
store. That's hilarious. Thank you very much.
How you doing, man? What's going on, man?
Bro, man, it's good to see you, man. Good to be on your show, bro. I didn't realize I was the
You,
first guest. It's dope.
yeah, you are the first guest, man. You're my this is my kickoff. So I really appreciate you being. I wanted to interview you for a long time. So I just got this opportunity to start this new kind of show here, and I'm like, honestly, you were the first person that I reached out to. So I'm one
Dope,
for one
man.
right now, but we'll see how that goes as I progress. Um,
Appreciate it, man.
how you doing, man? You look good, man.
Thank you,
You
dog.
always look
Everything's
good.
good, man. I brush my teeth every day. I take showers. You know the
I can
usual.
see. I can see. I can tell. I can tell. Um, I didn't want to tell you this, but my mom loves you.
Oh, really?
I
I
I
don't think
showed
I've
her
ever
your
met your mom before.
no, you haven't met her. I showed her your picture. This is a while ago, because we were watching The Neighborhood, and we're gonna get
Okay.
into that about that show. But we were watching that, and I'm like, oh, I have a friend on that show. I'm all excited, and she's like, who? So I go and show her your Facebook, and she's like, oh, he's a cutie. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, calm down
Yo,
here.
I can't. I'm too young to be your stepdad, bro. Tell her I'm too young.
No, but I appreciate you, man. On this interview, we kind of touch bases a little bit before. I'm gonna just want to just go over your story, man. You are an inspiration. I sent you a comment that somebody just left under one of my statuses about how you inspire them, and I think you inspire a lot of people from the area. And we just want to talk to you about it. Just
Yeah.
hear from the commercial king.
Got you, man.
I did that.
No doubt, bro. That's
So
that's amazing to be an inspiration, bro, because I literally just live, man. It's always been a dream of mine, goal. And the thing that was instilled in me at a young age from Youngstown and from church, I went to Neville's Temple back over on the north side. Um, was just, believe it, have that faith, and never give up. So I always stay persistent. I'm glad that the hard work is finally paying off, man.
So, is this something that you always wanted to do? Like you graduated from Rand, correct?
Yeah,
You
D
said
Rand High School. Yeah.
D Rand High School.
D Rand. It's always something I wanted to do. I went to Bennett Elementary, and the principal at the time, Mrs. Thornton. Do you know Gary Thornton and Brittany Thornton?
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. G and
so
Bree, yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
my
that
barber
their
actually.
grandmother. Oh, dope. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
forgot he cut now. So
Yeah.
their grandmother was my principal in elementary, and I'll never forget. I always give her credit for like igniting my flame and like keeping me going, man. She heard me singing one day. She was like, "You're gonna be a star," and I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "Sing something for me." I sang some Boys and Men. Had my sunglasses on, trying to act all cool. And she put me in the sixth grade choir. I was the only second grader in the sixth grade choir. And at the time, there was a lot of people I looked up to, Jason Rosenberry, um, what's his name, Donnell Phillips, like those people like that who were peers of mine, but older. They took me under their wing and was like, "Look, you dope, bro," and they kind of pushed me ahead. You know what I mean? But from
Right,
then on,
right.
bro, I was doing stage plays, school plays. I was in Youngstown Connection. I saw my first Broadway show in New York, and I was like, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life, man."
Oh, that's super dope. And it's kind of bad that we didn't have as many opportunities here to really flourish that, what I'm saying, that
Not
itch
at
that you
all.
had. Not
Yeah,
at
not at
all,
all. A
right?
lot of it was me creating my own opportunities, writing myself. You know, a lot of stage plays that I was a part of in choir. That we as the school population put together. Of course, I was in every band, every choir, every ensemble. So I was a part of everything to kind of fulfill that portion, but it wasn't enough professional opportunities at all. That's why I had to take my talents elsewhere for sure.
Almost like a LeBron thing. Take your
LeBron
talents to
James,
South
bro.
Beach, but you went to Long Beach out that way.
Right.
um, like I remember, man, I remember you because you're not only an actor, you're a singer, writer, you do managing, but I remember the singing, you had the song with Kenny Ali, and
Yeah,
that like was that your first big break in the singing?
that was. So
That
I did
was?
music. I've been doing music since I was 12, professionally writing and just in a recording studio and stuff. I used to produce my own music back on the Triton when they had floppy disk and stuff. I was,
Oh
I've been
yeah,
at it
the
for a minute,
Triton.
bro. I've been at it. Like Cakewalk. I don't know if you remember Cakewalk, some of them softwares. But as far as music, I remember my brother, he was like he had a recording studio and I used to go to Virginia Beach every summer with him. And one summer he was like, look, he took all of his equipment apart and he was like, if you want to record this summer, you got to figure out how to put it together. He was like, and it's super sensitive, so if you plug it in wrong, you're gonna fry my system. I'm gonna beat your head. I'm like, okay. So it took me the whole summer to figure it out, and finally I figured it out. And what he was teaching me is how to set up my own system back at home, so I didn't always have to rely on just him and being there. So I was about 13 or 14 when I got my own recording studio, kind of put it all together. I was on a little laptop microphone, from Walmart, but I was making it work, man. It was a way for me to be creative and kind of stretch my
Right.
pen game and stuff like that. But it
And
was
save some money.
meeting Kenny Ali was the first big one that was like professionally mixed, mastered, distributed, radio play. And so that was a big moment in my career for sure.
Do you remember what studio you recorded in with Kenny?
We recorded that in Kenny's studio. He did
Okay,
the
okay.
track, he produced it, he mixed it, he mastered it. As a matter of fact, we sent it out to get mastered, but we recorded it in house in his spot.
Did you go on tour because of that song? I think I remember
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
tour.
we did some regional touring. We had a campaign manager. We did like I would say 6 to 8 month campaign, to where we were, like PA, Jersey, all over
Mhm.
Ohio, Kentucky, like just going on tour and stuff like that.
And at that point, you hadn't really tapped into acting yet, have you?
Not professionally. I didn't really start doing acting until I went to New York. So I went to New York. I went to New York in 2005 when I graduated Rand, and I was in school. Once I graduated college, I went to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy there, and I did some off Broadway, some tours and stuff like that with acting. But I moved back to Ohio, and that was the first time I actually met Kenny. When I moved back to Ohio, and I was only supposed
Oh
to be for
wow.
a year, just so I can kind of like regroup, get my ducks in a row before I came to LA. I ended up losing my father during that time, so I ended up staying in Ohio for about 2 years instead of one. But once I kind of got myself collected, I had a family because I moved back to Ohio. I had my girlfriend at the time was now my wife, and my daughter was born in Ohio, so my wife was pregnant
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
So by the time my daughter turned 2, we moved to LA to kind of restart, reset, and things like that, just to kind of get our feet back on the road, man.
So the goal was to always move to LA. Like you knew that's where you
LA
had to
was
be.
always the goal, man. LA.
Always the
I
GOAT.
remember watching. You remember that movie American Dream? Jackson 5 American Dream.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I remember seeing that movie, and it's so crazy. Shout out to Jason Weaver. He played Michael Jackson in that movie, and I remember being so young and inspired by his character. And it was this scene where they went to New York. I'm sorry, they went to LA from Gary,
Yeah.
Indiana, and I just remember seeing the palm trees, seeing how their opportunities opened up and how happy they were. So as a young kid, 8, 9 years old, I saw that movie, and I'm like, I got to go to Hollywood. I got to go to LA. And it
Right.
was always scary to move that far because I didn't have friends or family out there. So which is why I went to New York, was like the closest next best thing for me, the safer option.
Right.
I
Right.
can drive back to
Oh, that's
Ohio
a
in
6 hour
6 to 8
drive.
hours. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But LA was like all the way over there, so
You there?
I
You
needed to
there?
practice first.
No, no. So, and I'm gonna get back to the move to LA. I want to go back, just back a little bit before we get that far. Like, I remember you doing like magic and different things like that. What brought that? What made you do that, or was that something that you like to do, or you were just like, I'm gonna entertain in all aspects of
Yeah,
entertainment?
yeah. So acting was kind of weird. So I always was interested in acting, but my mother could never afford to give me the tricks. And if I did end up getting the tricks, I could never learn them or figure them out. So moving to New York, graduating college, I didn't really have any real job, as they say, out of college. I just knew I was going to be acting, and the audition process was hard. You never knew when you was gonna get a show. You never knew how
Right.
long the contract was gonna be. So I remember going to Toys R Us in Times Square for the very first time, the biggest Toys R Us in the world. And I walked in, and this dude was like, "Hey, you like magic?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you can work here. I can teach you." I'm like, "Dope. I'm looking for a job." So he taught me like 1 to 3 tricks. I mastered them. Within 6 months, I became the manager of the magic company. I was a U.S. manager because it's a London-based company. It's called Marvin's Magic. I assembled a team of about 10. I was bringing in about 500,000 a month in revenue for this company, and I realized that I could be doing this for myself. The only thing that I was missing was the capital up front. So one of the things I
Mhm.
did in Youngstown, I don't know if you remember, I had a store in Eastwood Mall, also Southern Park Mall. I put up my
Yeah, that's
own money. Yeah, so you remember seeing me there. So my wife was my
yeah.
first official investor. She was like, "Look, I believe in you. You have a proof of concept. You've done this before. Here's enough money to get yourself a kiosk." I knew the owner of that product that I was selling. He's from Columbus, multimillionaire, 26 years old.
Mhm.
He was like, "Bro, I know you can push these. I'll give you an invoice that you can got a net 30 to pay me back. So I'll give you all the product you need. Just make sure you pay within 30 days." Bro, within 24 hours of opening up, I made all the money back from my wife and all the money back from my product. I was making profit. I was in a green within 24 hours.
Oh wow,
So
that's a blessing.
after seeing the potential of magic, I was like, yo, this is entertaining. This is stretching my social skills, and it's also stretching me being personable, relatable, and having people kind of fall in love with your character almost instantly. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's a
And
skill that's
wowing people.
really, really helped me a lot in my career.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I remember. That's why I remember seeing you at the mall during Magic and just being like, "Man, this cat does everything. He does everything." And you're one of the type like you hear like you would see like an athlete or something, and you'd be like, "That guy was made to play football," or "That guy was always. I knew he was going to be a basketball player." Like I can say that about you, like from day one. Like, yo, he's going to be on TV somewhere. Like you got the
I
look and
appreciate
everything,
that,
man.
man.
So
Thank you, bro.
so you
I'm
you you
real
move.
quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. So my battery is dying on the computer. I'm gonna switch over to my phone. If that's
Okay.
cool. If you just quick
No. That's
intermission.
cool.
I'm
That's
so
cool.
sorry.
Hey, for people that's watching this, if you can share this to the rest of your Facebook friends, help us out here, get our views up, and we're gonna pause for a quick second while he switches over to his phone. Oh yeah, I can hear you too.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're
Cool.
good.
I'm about to get you on my AirPods real quick. 1 second.
Okay. My life. Oh, I'm still alive. Hey, everyone. Hey, no, for real though, I need y'all to share this, man. Help us out, man. Help Trip Legend. Trying to do something new here, man. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, that's supporting. Every share is very appreciative. Um, Thanks, Lucas, for your comment.
All right, can
You
you hear
guys
me?
can leave comments too. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Dang. Okay,
You-
cool.
No, we're good.
I don't know
You're
why the
looking
phone wasn't
better.
working at first, but we good.
People, you can leave comments, guys. We can see your comments. We'll read them. If you got some things to say, you want to say to Josh. We're ready to go, Luke. All right, you ready, Trip?
Yes, sir.
All right, so just picking up where we left off. So now you're moving to LA. Biggest move of your life. Like, how
Scared,
scared are you?
bro.
Scared
Terrified,
because you
man.
gotta. Are you married at this time, or you
Not,
still have a?
not,
You're not yet.
yeah, not yet. So I actually got married when I moved to LA. My wife
Okay.
is so down, so loyal, so dedicated. So, bro, like, she's incredible, man. This whole time, I met her in New York in Times Square. We
Uh huh.
ended up getting her pregnant. I'm like, look, you need to come to Ohio with me. And she's like, okay. She comes to Ohio, Youngstown from New York, and we're there for
Yeah,
two
she's a
years.
trooper.
I told you,
Already, she's a trooper.
she's she's a trooper, bro. I'm broke. I'm trying to, I'm struggling, trying to get my career together. And she was there from day one, just holding it down, bro. She's always been there. So, um, let me just tell you this. This is a part of my Project 16 monologues, and it's actually coming up. So I'll give you an exclusive little tidbit to this
Oh,
project.
well,
Um,
I got questions
my
about that.
project, perfect. So my project is based on a true story about me and my wife's relationship. And at this particular point in my life, moving to LA, I told you I was only supposed to be in Youngstown for a year, but my dad fell sick. So I started selling cars. I was selling in Warren over at Clavin, Ford, and Lincoln. We're renting a house. We're getting eviction notices. I hate working. I'm literally, bro, I'm selling cars. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in LA, man. What is this? I'm trying to figure out how to be a new father. Um, so I literally just sold everything. I sold everything in the house: PlayStation, TVs, computers, studio equipment, furniture. I
Oh
sold
wow.
everything. And I'm like, look, we need to go to LA empty-handed. We need all the capital we can get. I waited till we got tax returns as well to kind of blanket that too. And the plan was, I'm going to fly you to New York with your parents, with Jaden, my daughter at the time. I'll go to LA for 30 days. And if I don't have apartment and furnished and everything set up in 30 days, we gonna call this out. You know what I'm saying? So that was my incentive. If I get this figured out in 30 days, I
Right.
get my family back. And
Right.
I did that, bro. So the first 30 days out in LA, I was doing magic on Hollywood Boulevard to make ends meet, bro. I was literally out there hustling, like making tips, just enough tips to like pay the
Wow. That's
bills. You know what
amazing.
I'm saying? And
That's
within 30
amazing.
days, I was able to fly my family out, bro. I had an apartment, it was furnished, and my family came back. So that was my
So
journey to LA that a lot of people don't realize, man. I was literally working on the street,
that's
bro.
LA's not cheap. LA's not
It's
cheap.
not
So
cheap at
yeah, that
all.
at all. At all. So you did that for 30 days. I mean you got your family out in 30 days. So what was your first gig once you got to LA? Other than the magic, of course.
Yeah, the Magic was
Okay.
first. My first professional gig. I didn't really know what to do for a year. Like, I was in LA. I didn't know who to talk to. Didn't know how to get in the industry. I didn't have any mentors. I found out I had a brother there who kind of took me in for that first 30 days. So I was able to stay with him on his couch until I got myself together. But my first official job was a singing competition on MTV. It was called Copycat, and I went on the singing competition. I made it to the finals, and I ended up missing the $5,000 reward or whatever the prize was, by like a point or two. You know what I'm saying? But
Uh,
it was then because I went to LA to pursue music because Millionaire was hot. I
Oh,
released a
okay.
few more singles. I didn't go for acting. I went for music. But when I saw
Oh, okay,
myself on
okay.
MTV, I was like, "Yo, you that dude on TV right now, man. Like this is what you need to be doing." It just felt different. It felt different. So after that, I got an agent, and me and my daughter went to a couple auditions. The first audition we went to, we booked it. It was for a commercial, for a grocery store out here, and we just never
So
looked back,
were
man.
so you were trying to bring her in even at that before you even got in, you were trying to bring you guys in as a pair.
Kinda. So people always see her and say she was so cute, you know what I'm saying? You should get her acting.
Mhm.
But I'm like, nah, she's only 2 years old. I ain't gonna do that to my daughter. I don't, I want to see her
Right.
interests. But I would be going to auditions and I would come back home and she would be saying my lines, like the lines I was studying and memorizing. She would be saying them out loud. And I'm like, yo, this ain't normal. So after I kind of saw her ability to memorize and her interest in it, I took her to the audition with me and we booked it just like that. And it's
Oh,
been
wow.
literally just like a rocket ever since that day.
Listen, I've seen you in so many ads, and at first I didn't think it was you because it would be so random and like you really weren't saying like, hey, I landed this new, you'll see me on this or see me on that. You never really said too much about that on your
Yeah,
social media. So I would be
yeah.
like, man, is this Josh? It looks like Josh, but you know who they say you also look like out there. You kind of like came back
Batch,
a little
King
bit,
Batch.
batch a little bit.
I get it all the
Yeah,
time, bro.
all the time, right? So I would just be
It's
walking
so
and I would
funny.
see
We
you
be
and I'd be
stealing
like,
each other's credits.
so you land the gig. So now you're like, this is what I want to do now. I want to pursue acting. Is that kind of how it went? You had a manager.
Yeah, so
Um,
acting was always the ultimate goal for me, but music and singing was always time based on my age, for instance, right? I I can't be a 45-year-old pop star, but I definitely can be a 45-year-old actor. That's how my mind
right,
was wrapping
right.
around it. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, that makes
I've
sense.
always wanted to do it both and all of it, but music was always the focus based on age. You know what I mean? So acting though, it's like I said, it's always been the ultimate goal, and God kind of opened up those paths, and I didn't want to be disobedient to that. And once I kind of accepted my role, like I was typecast really quick as the young dad. You know what I mean? Um, so being the young, I didn't want to be the young dad. I wanted to be like Will Smith. I want to be Fresh Prince. I want to be
Right,
iRobot. I want to be Jamie Foxx show. You know what I'm saying?
right,
But
right,
it was like,
right,
bro, embrace who you are. You are a young dad. You do it well. You're very present in your daughter's lives. Um, just get that money while you can be young dad. I'm like,
right.
cool,
That's
let me
that's
be
true. That's
young
true.
dad.
That's true. So, um, what would you say is your favorite out of all the things you do? Would it be the music
Ooh,
or the
that's tough,
acting?
bro. Ah, I
Because I know
can't
music
pick
is like
one,
your
bro.
baby.
It is. It is. I always say this. So I remember, I don't know if you had to do this in school, but at RAN, we had to do these, they're called career passports. And it's like, where do you see
Okay.
yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 20 years? The whole thing. And I never forget. And it's really cool. By 30, I was doing everything I said I would do in my career passport. It was to be a multi-talented entrepreneur that was retired by the age of 25. That was like my goal, right? So I never filled out a real job application since I moved to LA. Never had what you call a real job since I moved to LA. I've been a full-time actor since 2013. And up you froze up on me. You still
Yeah, you kind of can you hear me? You want
okay? I see you there.
you're
Uh-oh.
froze on my end. I can hear you though.
Let me make sure you good. Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. You're still a little froze.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, that's just freezing. Yeah, give us a sec here. Y'all know how it is, messing with the internet. And it's our first show. We're getting it together. Devin, I see your question. I got you, bro. Shout out to you, Dre. Always support, man. Love you, bro. What's up, Yachty? Give us a second. If I have some elevator music, I'll play it right now. But here, be sure to check out Can't Knock the podcast, though. Shout out to Lisette and DJ Chip Banks, my co host. What's up, IG? Fam in the building.
Bro, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Technology be tripping, bro.
Yeah, it be tripping, man. Like, I hate it and love it at the same
I
time, man.
know, I know. I don't know how much you heard of that, but
We- um, yeah, because I can still hear you the whole time though. You were just
oh, you
froze
could.
on
Oh,
your.
got you.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I still can hear you.
cool.
So I want to go into some of the shows and movies that you have been in this, right?
Yeah.
But hold on. Before we get there, you were talking about your career path. Were you finished with that? I don't want to cut you off.
No,
You
you're
were
good.
saying,
I was just saying that picking just one thing was never the plan. And I remember my teacher kind of
right,
getting upset with me, like, you jack of all trades, master of none. It's like, well, you can master multiple things, and not just that, you want to be happy with what you do. Like, I just thought it was an
right,
old ideology of just picking one thing, mastering being a lawyer, mastering being a doctor, and only doing that. Because even doctors and lawyers have interest in music. Some they might play the
right.
guitar on the side, whatever the case may be. Just like,
Yeah,
that's not the only thing that drives you in your energy. So I never wanted to pick one thing. So I do graphic designing, magic, music, writing, directing, producing,
you did
construction,
flyers too.
flyer. I'm the flyer guy too, bro. Like, a lot of
You're
people
the
don't know.
flyer.
A lot
Like
of people
literally
don't know.
everything in entertainment you touch bases with. It's amazing, man. It's,
Thank you,
it's
bro.
amazing. Um, yeah, I do want to get into some of your shows you've been in, and then I want to get into some of the commercials you've been as well. As far as the show, what was your first on set role where you like, all right, I'm here, like it's real, like you know what I'm saying. This show is coming on TV. I
Man.
know I know you're on the quad, but I don't think that was your first one though.
Nah, the quad was actually my first recurring uh
Okay,
role, because I was on 2 seasons of the quad. My very first thing was actually I Am Legend. I was an extra in I Am Legend straight out of college. It was probably 2007. Um, and I don't know if you remember the scene where there was like a lot of the zombies and nightwalkers like attacking. They were kind of checking to see who was infected, and they was gonna let them in a helicopter. That's when the helicopter crashed.
yeah,
So I was in that scene, one of like 500 people, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm on set, baby. We did this!" Like, but you couldn't see me in the movie. You couldn't see nothing. But it was like I probably got
hey,
like
did you try to?
$75 for the day. Like, you know,
Hey,
but
did you
it
try to
was
find
cool.
yourself? Did you try to
Of
find yourself?
course, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing too. You're so excited. I was telling people like, "Mom, I'm in this movie. Check it out." And you can't ever find yourself. So that happened for at least a year or two in my life, to where I was just kind of paying my dues as an extra. I was in Ugly Betty. I was in Notorious. I was actually in a dope scene where Tupac and Biggie went to the Hip Hop Source Awards. I was in 30 Rock with Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, LL Cool J. So these are like little extra roles that I was getting more and more screen time and just paying my
Right,
dues,
right.
bro. Just it was a really crazy process in New York. But the first role that I was like, okay, this is dope. I did that was a Supergirl on CBS. I was in LA maybe 2 years or so after me kind of being in LA, paying my dues out here. I landed a co-star role on CBS, and I'm in the scene with Supergirl, and they gave me the super cool line, and it kind of just changed my perspective on it. It's like, yo, you really can't do this. Like, you're not an extra anymore. Like, you're a co-star level. You know what I mean? And then after that, the quad came. So recurring things. I was on Girl Boss on Hulu. Sorry, Netflix, which was a great show. And then the neighborhood started coming, and the rookie, and just things like started picking up. But it's always that one role that kind of gives you that energy to be like, yo, you doing this
Uh,
for a reason, and if you
what
keep going, it's only gonna keep getting better.
what was your favorite role out of all of those? What was your all right, two-part question here. What
Yeah.
was your favorite extra like set to be on when you were just an extra? And then
Okay.
what was your favorite when you had an actual role? Like what was your favorite show on that one?
Um, my favorite extra role was 30 Rock, and it's because the way the cast kind of just took me in. So I was extra, maybe 300 people. Again, cattle call. A lot of us. You're a number. Nobody cares about you. You're just there to fill up space. A homie that I met on set, he was dressed up as Flavor Flav. So he had the clock, the hat, everything. And he was like, bro, we've been here for like 5 hours, man. They ain't using us. I'm out of here. I'm like, bro, you can't leave. He's like, I'm leaving. Bro, 20 minutes later, they was like, we need Flavor Flav. I'm like, he just left. They was like, you look like you can fit the costume. Put it on. You're Flavor Flav. And I was like, dope. So I got dressed. And as soon as I get in there, everybody like, yo, you look like Tracy Morgan. I'm like, no, I don't, but okay,
No, you
whatever.
know.
Like, no, I don't. But everybody, so LL Cool J cutting jokes. Alec Baldwin is like, yo, say this line, Flavor Flav, say this line. Tina Fey, lightweight, like flirting. She's like, oh, you're cute. I'm like, thank you so much. I got this little move where I walk past her and I get to flirt with her in the scene. But it was just really cool to kind of see that relationships, likability, being at the right place at the right time can really transform your career. And that was the first taste I got of that. So I worked with Wayne Brady. He was a guest star in that. I ended up doing magic for Wayne Brady in New York. After
Oh
that, he
wow.
remembered me. I did magic for him and his family, and then I did another co-star with Wayne Brady on on the Neighborhood. He was a guest star. So it's like those relationships. Like, Wayne, you remember me from? He was like, yeah, and then just kind of
That's
having
dope.
that camaraderie with certain actors, and as you grow, which was really cool. Then my favorite
So okay, yeah.
official role is the Neighborhood. The Neighborhood, hands down.
Look,
That's
listen,
because
you
I
got
want to
me
be.
watching that.
Oh, bro, it's such a great show, man, and it's also it's in front of a live studio audience. I get to act with some of my childhood favorites, Tashina Arnold, Cedric the Entertainer. You know what I'm saying? So
Cedric, come on,
Cedric's
man.
is come on.
You can't
Cedric's
beat
a
that, man.
it's I feel like I'm at home on the Neighborhood. So that's
Okay.
gonna go in history as my favorite role so far for sure.
Yeah, I love that. You got me watching that show. I'm hooked to it. Like every week I'm watching it.
It's a
I
good
catch it
show,
on
man.
Hulu after the fact. But yeah, it's a good show. It's a funny show too. And like you
Yeah.
said, you can't go wrong with Cedric and Tashina, who are legends.
I'm like,
Especially,
Pam, is that you, Pam?
I mean, you got to think she's been Pam. Then she did the
She was in Little
Everybody
Shop of
Hates
Horrors
Chris.
too. Everybody hates
Yeah,
Chris.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like to see her in that. I was shocked, but I definitely it was a good role for her. And to see you in there, man, you
Yeah.
had me laughing, man. That barbershop,
Appreciate it, man. A little fun
that's
fact,
funny.
man. I had met Tashina Arnold maybe 3 days before I got offered the role of on the Neighborhood. Her daughter and my daughter were in a short film together, and they play sisters. So I met her at the table read for that project. I'm like, hey, Tashina Arnold, nice to meet you, whatever. 3 days later, I'm on set of the Neighborhood, and she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm Jeremiah, like I'm on the show. She's like, what? So it's just like, I swear to you, man, like the universe opens up doors before we even realize what doors are being opened. Because I didn't even audition
Right.
for that role yet. You know what I'm saying? When I met her, I
Okay,
got that
okay.
audition after and got the offer. It's crazy how that stuff happened, man.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Um, so that like, how does that feel? Like, from that, I'm sure you getting out of the trailer and all that. How is that life? Like, do you sometimes
Bro,
just be like, I can't believe that I'm a kid from Youngstown, Ohio, and
all
I'm
the
in
time.
Hollywood, right next to Cedric the
All the
Entertainer.
time,
Like,
bro. Like my life is just really dope, but I've worked really hard for this. The blessings that I have, and sometimes I just look up like, bro, I'll be taking out the trash, and I look up at my house like, thank you, God. Like this is, it's just I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. You work hard, and the hard work pays off. And it's not always about material things, right? But it's like the
Right.
little wins to know that everything was stacked against me. Like, I grew up in Youngstown with, as you said, not many opportunities.
Uh,
Went to Rand in the Youngstown City School District, which is, not really high in the national levels of education, but I was fortunate to have people to take me under their wing, see potential in me, believe in my belief in myself, and just kind of propel me forward. I had really good support from Youngstown, and throughout my entire career, I've always leaned on Youngstown for things. And with that being said, bro, like, a lot of cats from Youngstown is like, bro, we could have been locked up,
yeah,
shot up,
anything.
drugged up.
That's a fact, man.
And
It's
we made it,
like
bro.
in
So it's
Youngstown,
just a
is
blessing.
you're always in like arm's length of the wrong decision, the wrong
Absolutely.
move. Um, Devin, he said, "Where did all these stock photos come from?" What did he say? And and then Lamar Sites, what's up,
Lamar,
Lamar?
what up?
He's he said I used a stock photo of Josh in the presentation I did at work today. So
Yo, I ain't getting no bread off of those either. So the beginning of my career, this is a lesson for all actors. Don't do it, man. Like I was out here trying to make bread. I got offered like 700 a day, 800 a day, something like that to take pictures. And I kept doing a good job. There's oh, come back tomorrow. You're a nurse today. Oh, come back tomorrow. You be a bus driver. I'm like, cool. So, bro, I'm just stacking up this bread. By the end of it, I got maybe like 7 to 10K. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm really out here. And then this had to be like 2014, bro. So they've been playing it. They've been using my photos a lot. So then after
these the
that, I see
same
myself,
pictures from then.
same pictures, bro, same pictures. And bro, somebody was like, yo, you're in Africa on a billboard. I was like, what? They showed me the picture. I was like, no, bro. They was like, bro, you're in London on a bus. I'm like, what? So just bad representation at the time in the sense of like leadership of like advising me what to do. And then me being broke and hungry at that time, like just doing what I need to do. But it's funny going to Walmart and seeing my face in a frame. Like I'm like, I might have to buy that now. I ain't even got to put a picture in it. It's like that's me.
That's kind of messed up that they could do that, man. It's
Yeah, bro.
funny
Don't do
now, but
stock
it's still
images,
messed
man.
up. Like, so they could be using them for the rest of your life, and
Yeah, they have them what they call in perpetuity. So the contract literally says for the rest of your life throughout all the universes, da 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 da, da, whatever. But I have new management and agents now that can kind of what you call scrub those things like that, like as I progress my career. But the other
yeah,
thing too is the more famous I become or the more popular I become in my career, the least that people will want to use those because they're gonna be like, oh, that's Joshua from the neighborhood. This is not some random person that people
right,
don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the
right,
more
right, right,
recognizable
right,
you are, the more they'll pull them and won't use them. So
right,
that's a good
right.
thing
That makes
about it.
sense. So let's speak on your commercial game because that's where like I've really seen you a lot. I know you've done. You're not doing your local commercials. You're doing prime time Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, man.
you was that a Pepsi or
My very first national commercial was Pepsi. I was with Usher. That wasn't a
yeah,
Super Bowl spot, but I've done 4 Super Bowl commercials consecutively. For the last year was the first year that I didn't do a Super Bowl commercial. And that's because of COVID and stuff like that. But before that,
right,
I did a
right,
Google, I did an E Trade, I did a Miller Lite, and I did one more. Lincoln, I think it was Lincoln and Spot or something like that. um, but yeah, bro, like the goal coming from New York to LA was always if you get one commercial a year, you can eat and be good and be comfortable. That's how the numbers used to pan out. Like back in the day, bro, like when before I started, because I didn't realize the pay structure changed, but you can get upwards of 100K from one commercial. Like, so I'm like, cool, if I
Wow.
get one a year, I'm good. But then I started
Right.
seeing this is getting into representation. This is getting into not racism, but like stereotypes and discrimination. A lot of black commercials, they only air on black stations like BT, ESPN when the Warriors are
Right.
playing.
Right. Right.
They don't play them on all the channels. And how you're paid with commercials is residuals. Every time your commercial airs, you get a check. So I started seeing, I did a McDonald's commercial and they filmed a black version and a white version at the exact same time. And I was the lead in that one. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to eat. Finally, I got the jackpot. Thank God. But they would take me out, put the white cast in. Cool. They shot that. Boom. Put me back in, shoot it again. So at the very end, there's a website that you can track how many times your commercial has been played. My McDonald's commercial got played 250 times. The white version got played 2,500 times. And that's a huge
Wow.
just like, bro, literally for the color of my skin. You know what I'm saying? And I get demographics and I
Right.
get all that, but we always see McDonald's commercial, Mickey D's. Yeah,
Right.
and I'm like, yo, Mickey
Yeah.
D's, they're always looking out for us, but they're only showing it on these particular networks. So once I learned about what they call general consumer market, which is the white version that they show on all the channels, and that's really the payoff. I was like, yo, I got to do 7 commercials just to be able to get the pay that my peers are getting sometimes. You know what I mean? So it
That's
was a
terrible.
learning curve. It's really terrible, bro. But I was fortunate enough to be able to match that of my peers. Like you book one a year, I'm gonna book 10. That was my
Facts.
philosophy. So I've done over 70 national commercials since I've been here in LA, and over 150 collectively with my family since I've been here in LA. So it's a blessing to say that commercials have been my full-time job essentially, as I'm fishing my way through the acting industry with TV and film. It takes time, it's not easy, but I'm able to eat from acting and not have to wait tables or bartend,
Right.
sell cars, you know what I'm saying? So
No. 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 Facts.
that's
So
where we at though.
is there a big difference between a regular commercial? No commercials regular, but and then a Super Bowl commercial. Is it like a huge different
it,
on set? Like,
it used to be, it's not anymore. It's literally the exact same thing. The difference is popularity. So say you excuse me, say you get like a Dorito spot, right? Those tend to be pretty
right.
popular around Super Bowl. It gets popular, so they air it all the time because it was a Super Bowl spot that was really popular. And again, the more times you air it, the more money you get from it at the end of the day. Um, so it really depends on the popularity of some of these commercials, how long they run it. Um, they
Uh,
usually run a commercial for what they call a 13-week cycle. So if you book a commercial, it's guaranteed to run for at least 13 weeks, and then it will get renewed if it's popular enough. So,
because I remember
and Super
the
Bowl
one with
spots usually
Usher.
get renewed.
You were like right next to Usher. Like, how did that happen? Where you were like right next to him on that commercial?
Bro, that whole experience was crazy because I told you that was my first national, man. I'm about to tell you a secret. So my agent at the time was super non-traditional. Usually, in order to get an audition, you submit your photo, submit your resume. They were like, all right, we like you, come get an audition. My
Mhm.
agent submitted my photo, submitted my resume, and I didn't get an audition. But he knew where the audition was. He was like, bro, just show up and sign in. I was like, but they're gonna say I'm not supposed to be. He's like, bro, just show up and sign in. I just showed up and I signed in. It was like, Joshua, you're not on the list. I was like, yeah, my agent just told me to come. I was like, I ain't lying. He told me to come. He was like, okay, well, whatever, show me what you got. So I ended up getting a call back. And my agent was like, I told you, just show up and go. You got a call back. So I go to the callback. They upgrade my role to Usher's best friend. I'm like, dope. So I end up getting my very first booking of a SAG National. I got my trailer for the first time. Usher's here. It's a big freaking event. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, cool. They dressed me up like a celebrity. I had like the dope leather jacket, and it was like, you gonna hold a Pepsi. It was just dope, man. I was like, yo, this is
Yeah, that was
fire.
good.
But I have a video of my first time in the trailer, just like with a selfie, and it's like, yo, I just felt like mama, I made it. Like I got my own trailer
Yeah,
now. You
you
know what I
had
mean?
to.
Like
Yeah.
it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, a whole trailer. I couldn't imagine. Like,
Yeah, man. Trailer,
um,
like when you're on set, they feed you all day, all you can eat, whatever you want. Like it's different, bro. It's different.
that's good. So now that you're doing, you're doing your thing. You're in the commercials. You're on the shows. You bring in your daughter, and you start bringing her around. What age did you first get her involved in, like really into the roles?
She was about 3 years old when she started in commercials with me. Um,
Okay.
she just booked. She's 10 years old now, so call that 7 to 8 years. She just booked her first series regular role. She's a lead role on iCarly, the new TV show on Paramount Plus. So
Oh man, clap for her.
she's yeah, man, that's incredible, bro. Like
Yeah.
she's exceeded my expectations for myself and for her. But she was born into it, bro. Like Michael Jackson was born into it. Beyonce was born into it. She was born into it. She's had a living coach. I get to help her and coach her and train her and cultivate her and mold her into this little superstar. And she just showed interest and was always really good at it. But 3 years old was her first commercial. She did a few feature films. She did a feature film called Major Deal with Kieran Harris and Simone. Like a lot of the social media influencers, they did a joint for All Deaf Digital. And
Mhm.
she's done a few TV shows. She was on The Affair. She was on Blackish. She was on Station 19. She's been killing it, bro. I love to see her
On
grow.
you got y'all always get me watching something, but she was on the Netflix show, I don't think it's called the
Family
reunion, but
reunion. Family
Family
reunion. Yep.
Reunion.
Yep.
I'm hooked on that now because of you
It's a good
guys.
show. It's a good show,
It's a good
man.
show. It's a
I
good
don't know why
family
they
show.
didn't bring her
Like,
character back. Like she
'cause she
was
did a great job.
she did do a great job. I don't know what happened with because the writers, they tend to write as they go along, but they didn't want to flesh out the storyline with that particular character and the boyfriend and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it was a great role for her, and I think it gave her the ability to kind of see what it feels like to be on stage in front of a live studio audience and get more meat on that bone, as far as biting off some more lines and scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
But she loved it. Like she was like, "Yo, I love this show. I want to go back." And I was like, "She really enjoys this, man." It just made me feel good as a father to be able to propel her even further than that.
So you manage her. Do you manage her?
Yeah,
Coach
I'm
her,
her
manage,
personal
or do all
manager.
that?
I'm her dialect coach. I'm her script supervisor. All that. And I would say last year I got her with a career manager, but I'm still her personal manager. But when I got her with the career manager that I chose, shout out to Kim over at Schuler Talent. She's amazing. She was responsible for Michael Michelle on Mixed Dish, the little cute little
Oh,
girl
okay.
from there. Anna Kendrick, like some really incredible stars that were child actresses that turned into superstars. But she got her with one of the top 10 agencies in the world, bro. She's with Paradigm
Oh
Talent
wow.
Agency. And that's kind of when things took off. Her first audition, she booked it. It's called C. It's on Apple TV Plus, Jason Momoa's show. And it's just crazy. Like I said, man, just kind of having your team in place. But that was me kind of picking the team, picking the right tools, making sure
Because
she's prepared.
because from your experience, kind of what she needs and
Absolutely. And then
what to
also
do.
being able to
Yeah.
protect her too, because Hollywood's
Right.
crazy, bro.
Right.
But being her father and being, being in the industry, it helped be able to kind of guide her through everything too.
So you're on the sidelines. You're watching her act. I'm sure you're like saying the lines in your head or mouthing them because you know it while you're watching.
Yeah, of course.
How does how is that feeling like? And then
Bro, it's
like
nothing like
you
it.
said, she wanted to be on the show, and they kind of didn't write her for the next season.
Yeah.
How's that? Like, how can they explain that part to her?
That was tough. That was her first sense of heartbreak in the career because she's taught me a lot as a kid actress. I would take her to auditions, she would go have fun and leave. If she got a call back, great. But if she didn't, she forgot about it. And she would go to call back to have fun, maybe some other kids there, and she would do her thing and leave. And if she book it, great. If she didn't, she forgot about it. And that kind of shifted my mindset as an actor because we as actors tend to do things for the money or for the booking or for the notoriety or the credit. And when we don't get it, we're all hurt and we're like, dang, what's
Right.
wrong with me? Like, am I not funny enough? I don't look good enough? Am I too fat? Whatever those things are, right? But as a kid perspective, very innocent, I saw her go in, youthful, kill it, leave it there and leave. And when she got it, it was
Mm,
gratefulness. It was humble. It was, you know what I'm saying? It was a blessing, you know. So when I adopted the ideology, that's when I started killing it. But so seeing her kind of get her feelings hurt that she wasn't brought back to the show, um, it taught me that hey, she still is human, number one, and this is my daughter who's a child, and I have to learn how to nurture those feelings, you know. But she's always been ahead of her years. So I simply told her, like, you know, this one wasn't for you, and whatever, you know, whatever's for you will come. And lo and behold, here comes iCarly, which is literally the best role ever and the best family and cast and support system that she could have ever dreamed of being attached to. So, but watching her, bro, because we work together a lot. We've done a lot of stuff
okay.
together. But anytime I'm just dad and I'm on the sidelines watching her, I'm like, yo, she's really good. Like, I'm like, yo, she's
That's
really
dope.
like better than a lot of these grown-ups that she's acting with. Like, she's really that good, you know. So it was just a proud father moment, man. Just really proud.
So do they shoot that in Vancouver? Where they shoot that at?
Family Reunion was shot in LA. C was shot in Vancouver.
Okay, so
She
that's
was
where I
she was in
seen
Vancouver for 3 weeks
because I've
shooting
been
out there.
watching the your YouTube, and we can get
Oh,
into that.
Trip the
Like,
Family Network, yeah.
you got an empire. You got an empire going here, man. Your YouTube page is pretty loaded. So like,
Thank you,
I'm
man.
I'm watching I'm watching you guys in Vancouver, watching you guys interact. It's beautiful. It's like
Thank you, man.
you can tell this is what you guys do. Like,
Yeah,
1-2
it's
punch.
and it's genuine. It's not forced. You know,
Yeah, it's super genuine.
there was a comment that was put on there, like, you know, because a lot of people fear for child actors to be forced and doing it against their will. Their parents are making them do it, but she is a natural at this. She enjoys it, and the vlogs on our YouTube shows that clearer than anything else. It's like she's
Mhm.
naturally this person, and just, you know, like I want to be an actor, she wants to be an actor, and it's affording her this opportunity at 10 years old. Like, I became SAG when I was like 30, you know, 29. She was SAG since she was 6, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's levels to this, and she's born into it, so
Yes.
she's automatically gonna grow quicker than me. Pound for pound, she's much better than I was. At her age, I wasn't touching her.
Oh, that's dope. So does your wife does she doesn't want to get into the world?
She's not interested in it, but she has done a few commercials with us.
Oh,
I'll say
okay.
this, and I always, just to give people perspective, she's done more commercials than a lot of my friends who do this full time, you know, just kind of being a part of the family dynamic. But she's not
That's dope.
interested. She's never gone to acting class. She hates being in front of camera. But she's, you know, she's beautiful. She's natural. She knows the do's and don'ts because she watches and helps
Mm,
me and my daughter. It just works. And so she'd
That's
much rather
dope.
do
That's
it as a
dope.
family, but she won't ever do it by herself.
No, that's dope. So back on the YouTube channel, the Triplet Family Network.
Yeah.
You do the series with your family. You do that
Yep.
what, like 3 days a week, something like that.
Yep. Monday, Wednesday,
Um,
Friday.
and then you do with your daughter. I know you got a series when you guys were in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and then I seen somewhere you're shooting, you're kind of like filming her while she's acting, doing her roles, which is
Yeah,
kind
like
of cool,
behind the
like the
scenes and
behind the
stuff.
scenes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope. But I want to get into this music video that I've been following, and I'm waiting for this next.
You waiting for the next one?
I'm waiting,
I
Josh.
film it.
I
I
you
film
know
it Monday.
Listen, I'm gonna say you are not getting the credit that you deserve for these
Thank you,
music
bro.
videos. Okay,
Thank
like,
you, man.
and I was late to the party too on it, but I literally was at the, and I'm not saying that because you're right in front of me, but I was at the edge of my seat. Like,
Thank
yeah,
you,
I
man.
think I watched it out of order first. I watched like 8 first or
Okay.
7, whatever the last one. I
Yeah.
watched that one first, and I was like, wait, this is supposed to be in order. So then I go back and watch it, and then see how you
Yeah.
got to that point. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, Josh is doing it.
Bro, literally, bro, I almost have tears in my eye, man, because I'm trying to get emotional with this, but it's one of those projects. It's one of those projects that is really a passion type project. And I've been working on it now for almost 3 years. So,
Yeah,
some people they get this idea and it never comes into tuition, like into fruition. Um, but this is something I've been working on and pounding the pavement for it to make happen, and for people to actually have eyes on it now is so like, bro, thank you for
yeah,
watching. Thank you for, taking
yeah.
time. And it's very easily digestible. Like, it's good music,
It
it's
is
good content, but it's really cool to have people like, I think as artists, especially as a musician, a lot of times we just want people to see it. We just want people to listen. That's
facts.
it.
I'm
I don't
there.
need your money.
Just
I just
listen. Just
I just
listen
want you
to
to
it.
just listen, please. Like, just lend me your time. That's
Listen.
all I want, your time. Man. So thank
Is
you so much for
you're
watching, bro. It means a lot to me,
you're
man.
gonna enjoy it. If they give it a listen, they're gonna enjoy it. Like,
It's really, let me tell you how I got to the idea. So, there's been a lot of attempts at visual albums before, and I wanted to do something different because I kind of fell out of love with being a musician as an artist, like going on tour and things like that. I kind of wanted to just be, I'm an actor first and storyteller and filmmaker. So I was like, how can I do this? Right. So I wake up out of my sleep and God tells me they're doing it all wrong. And I'm like, what does that mean? He said, what is the last thing you do when you're shooting a movie? And I'm like, the music. He said, bingo. The last thing you do is the music. You do the score. So I was like, most people, when they do visual albums, they already have the music. They make a
they're
video to
trying to
make it work, and then they try to make that match. And then they do a video for each one, but it's not cohesive. It's never telling a story. Lemonade was pretty close to that. But it's just never been what I'm trying to do. So I decided to write out a story,
Mhm.
create character development, create a arc, a climax, a resolution, take people on a journey, and then I went and made music to it. And then I was able to attach the music and the tone to the specific story that I was trying to tell. So at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, I got 16 monologues. It's coming from my perspective. It's going to be a feature film to where you'll get the intercut, like what happened in between the moments, and from other
Okay.
people's perspective as well. So it's not only going to come from me. But right now, the musical web series is literally just from my perspective, how I interpreted everything. But when you watch the feature film, you'll see what my wife was interpreting, what the other girl was thinking
Mm.
about. And it's really going to be cool because it's going to be shot like a real feature film with real dialogue, real acting scenes. Um,
Oh, that's dope.
but right now, it's kind of like trapped in the closet, but it's a continuation of a story where each song is different and each song drives that particular part of the story. So I'm
And
proud of it,
I
man.
love I love how you put like the next song at the end of the current
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah,
this next song sounds like a banger.
it's dope, bro. Act like it, man. It's one of my favorites, and it's the first one that
Yeah.
I'm using my falsetto. It's a very vulnerable type song too, but I don't know. It's each song is different, bro. Like, so
It
people are
is.
like, "What's your favorite on the project?" I'm like, all of them, because each one touches a different part of me
I actually
mentally.
have a favorite one.
Is it Lost in You?
Um,
Number two?
no, it's not number 2. It's not number 2.
Okay, a lot of people love number two. That's what I was wondering.
Let me see. I have to find it. And I should have just had it up
I think
already.
my favorite is one, Grow is one of my favorites. It's like the 80s vibe. And then number five, The Limit. Just it got that hit like, I
I think
know
that's
my
the
limit.
limit.
I know my limit.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
that
Yeah,
joint
the
fire
limit.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know they limit. And
Bro.
I
And it's
I
it's
love how
hard
the
because
video, yeah. I can't say enough about that, Josh. Like I really enjoy that, man. I do, man,
thank
for
you,
real.
bro. I
Yeah, man, you
appreciate it,
do a
man.
good job on that. So after this, is this going to be a whole album that
It is.
all the
So
songs?
Yeah, right now I'm releasing them as singles. That way people can kind of do that. I just released Act One, which is 1 through 4 as an EP. Um, Act Two is coming out in August, which is 5 through 8.
Okay.
5 through 9, sorry. And then the third installment will be the full project, all 16 records. And the third act, bro, oh my God, it just it gets nuts, bro. Like that's where everything kind of hits the fan. And I'm still in Youngstown just trying to figure out life. And again, bro, this is the first time as an artist I have something to say and I'm able to be vulnerable. And because I'm 12 years into my marriage, the beautiful kids, and this was a growing period for us to be able to talk about what we went through, our growing pains. Because a lot of times people see on Instagram or Facebook like, oh, he got it all together, he got a beautiful family. It's like,
Yep.
no, like I had to work for this. I almost lost this
Mhm.
being the idiot. You know what I'm saying? So being able to be truthful to my story and open up my bro, it's like stuff, my mom is watching these, and I'm like, dang, this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, cause
And
look, that's on the zone. It got a little
it
steamy on
got
the
a little
zone.
steamy, bro.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing I've ever filmed, bro. And shout out to my
Hey,
actress Hart Hayes, man, for being down for that. Um, but yeah, bro, it's I want it to be as tasteful as possible, but still be able
yeah.
to tell the story and understand the struggle that I was going through mentally. Because a lot of people say, "Can you be in love with two people at one time?" Right? Was I in love with two people? Not necessarily, but I was definitely in like you know what I'm saying, I definitely
Right,
wanted to
right,
be
right,
with two
right.
people at one time, in that sense. And I didn't want to choose, and choosing, you saw what I chose in the last one. It's like, yo, did you really
Yeah.
just choose that? No spoilers, but
So
that's
now that
real,
I know
that's real life. That happened.
now that I know it's a true story, I need to see how you got it
Yeah,
back right. Like,
yeah.
oh, okay, okay,
Take
yeah.
notes,
This
get your
this
pen
is
out,
good,
bro,
man.
get your pen out.
Hey, hey, I know my limit, man. I know my limit.
Hey, I thought I knew mine, bro, and then I went to the zone. I went from the limit to the zone, bro. This can't.
Oh man, hey, I really appreciate you, man, for taking the time. What do you going forward? Like, what are you expectations for your career and things that you got in the works other than the music, what you just said?
Yeah, the music is key right now. Just finishing out this project with the series, finishing the album, which is already done. I just kind of been like holding it. The feature film version of this will be a big, project for me. Outside of that, just being considered for some series regular roles that I'm waiting to hear back from. Hopefully, I can get my big
Okay,
TV break as well. Of course, managing my daughter. They're wrapping up season one tomorrow. Actually, this is the last episode
okay,
of the season. The first three is out on Paramount Plus. Definitely check it out. She's incredible in it. But we're waiting to hear about season two. If season two happens, well, when season two happens, that's gonna kind of solidify our September or our fall. That way, I can kind of know what's
yeah,
going on. As an actor, a lot of things are up in the air because you're in between contracts all the time. But I'm still producing as well. I have a TV show I'm working on. I sold a show. I don't know if you ever seen my show Black Coffee. I sold a show um, to Funny or Die last year, just before the pandemic. That I starred in. I helped write, helped direct, helped produce. That was my first official like sell to a network, which was really cool. So I'm hoping to get another one of those under my belt. But more of the
where can we
same,
check
man.
that out
Just
at?
Black Coffee. I might put a link on my website. So if you go to
Okay,
tripletfamilynetwork.com, I'll put a link to my website. It should be up there.
okay,
But until then, you can go to funnyordie.com and just search Black Coffee. But my
okay,
website will have it for sure.
okay. That's dope, man.
That's a
Let's
really
see.
cool series. You would enjoy that too.
Oh, that's good. Anything that you done told me to watch, I've have enjoyed. So I
Thank you,
think
bro.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. I'm not seeing any more questions in the comments here.
Cool.
So man, like, hey, I appreciate you. Is there anything else you wanted to say to the people, man, or to
Nah,
Youngstown? Or,
man. I appreciate Youngstown always. Thank you for the support and the love. Follow on my website, tripletfamilynetwork.com, for any, behind the scenes exclusive updates. We also have merch. We have really dope merch that we're dropping as well. Just support any way you can. Again, it's not always about money. A lot of times it's just a share, a like, a comment, just to know you're there. It goes a long way in this career, because numbers do matter at the end of the day. So, but
Facts. Facts.
I thank you. I thank Youngstown, man. Youngstown born, Youngstown bred, bro. Schwables out here, bro.
Hey man, I thank you for taking the time out your schedule, man. Rooting for you, your daughter, your whole family, man. I'm definitely gonna check out everything you do. I'm waiting on the next video, man. I'm
Thank you,
waiting.
man. I'm shooting it
Subscribe.
Monday. It's gonna be coming out quick. It's coming out quick,
Oh,
man. I
all
can't
right.
wait to show y'all.
That's good to hear, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Y'all
Appreciate
take it easy. Peace.
Ken Knock the interview. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Josh Tripp, Youngstown Studio. This will be in podcast form tomorrow. You'll be able to check it out on YouTube as well. And I'll put it on Can't Knock the Pod page as well. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the first one. Be on the lookout for, I got some good guests lined up. And just thank you guys, man. Shout out to Dre Nix. Wearing his brand loyalty today. Appreciate you as well, man.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content, and we would appreciate you sharing the videos and the word about us. Thank you.